Yeah,
I feel like
man.
that's what's really kind of moving you forward.
Look, I get up at 5 a.m. so that I can have the gym time. I mean, not
Yeah.
JYM, but JIM, which includes JYM.
I like that.
But like if I want to work on myself, I mean, I got to work on myself before I can help other people. I have to be in a good space. And so those couple of hours every morning are why I get up early. What am I excited about? I'm excited about a lot of things. I mean, obviously, we're moving the needle in a lot of ways from a technology standpoint, obviously AI and all that sort of thing. And every time like I read an article or I hear a talk or I see a social media post about the cool stuff that's going on, I think, man, maybe I should get back into the game and start practicing again because I missed out on all this cool stuff, and I don't intend to do that, but it does make the profession look a lot cooler to
Yeah.
everybody. Makes communication with patients better, makes communication with your team better, makes things more efficient, can make things more profitable. Just so many things, whether it's a diagnostic tool or it's AI listening to your phone calls and giving you feedback, whether you're using ChatGPT. I mean, there's just so many things that are exciting and new and digital workflows and that sort of thing. And then also, um, I've been very involved in the DSO space over the last decade, I guess. I sold to a DSO 10 years ago. I had a great outcome, and then I had some things that didn't go so well after that. And then I worked for a 250 practice DSO and saw some good things and saw some things that I didn't like so much. But during the pandemic and since the pandemic, there have been some really bad outcomes for dentists. And it's come down to, I think, a lot of DSOs and especially PE-backed DSOs who are answerable to their investors, as well they should be. They should provide great returns for their investors, as long as they don't compromise things on the other end of the spectrum. And some do it well, some don't do it well. But what I realized, John, is nobody's ever going to do it as well as a dentist who's kind of been there, done that, understands all the different nuances, has seen successes, seen failures, had huge wins, huge losses, been involved in 60 or 70 deals over the years, have kind of seen it all. What I realized was I need to get back into practice ownership again, because I'm really good at it, doing it the right way, not compromising on quality of care, not compromising on the service or the product that you deliver for people. And being a dentist, I understand like how hard it is, what it takes. I understand the insecurities when it comes to a transition, like your life's work. Like what are you going to get for it? Are you going to get the most money possible? Are you going to get the best partner possible? Are you going to continue to have autonomy? Are your patients going to be cared for? Is your team going to be cared for? Is your legacy going to go on? All of those things. I mean, I've gone through all these different stages. And, now I'm in a position where I can help other dentists go through those stages, whether it's a transition with me, and joining my practice group, or helping you find the right people to transition you into a different situation. Like I feel like I can provide all of that, and and do it without a lot of emotion involved, just with that heart for service and that knowledge that whatever you do with me, it's going to be done right. And so for me personally, I'm excited about all the different avenues I can create value.
It's interesting, Jim. Technology and the excitement about technology in the dentistry kind of woke up other industries to now they recognize dentistry. And
Yeah, it's true.
now,
Dentistry's cool now.
it's cool. And somebody kind of put two and two together that the head is connected to the body. And maybe if all the things that you and all of your clinical professionals have been saying for years about how important it is to take care of our oral health because it could affect
Yeah,
other parts of the body, it's like people
absolutely.
have finally realized that, right?
Oh man.
Dentistry is on the map. It took a long time. And it's funny, maybe this was pre-COVID. I had a conversation
Yeah.
with an I think it was a periodontist, and we it was on one of my original podcasts, and we were talking about the oral systemic link, and he's like, John, he goes,
Yeah.
I was talking about that at like parties in the 80s, dude. Like this is not like a new thing.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just that it's taken all these years, to your point, to get dentistry on the map. And yet I think if you combine that with now this technology and of course the leadership of individuals like yourself and those that have been there, done that,
Yeah.
helping the younger generation. We can, a lot of challenges, no doubt at
Yeah,
all, right? There's a lot of challenges in dentistry right now.
no
However,
doubt.
it's what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be positive and move it forward, or are you going to choose
Yeah.
to be a victim? So
Well, coming out of the pandemic, as I said, there were some bad outcomes. Dentists lost millions of dollars when the DSOs got overextended and banks came in and took everything, or they did a financial restructure. Millions of dollars is a big deal, when it's your life's work and you've set yourself up for, great post career. I don't want to say retirement because I would never retire. I'm always going to do something. But when you've set your life up, done all the right things, and then gotten just smacked in the face, like, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of doctors have gone through that. Um, it's bad, but I think some positive things have come out of it too. I mean, I think that things are being restructured, and I think that more dentists are focusing on alignment with their buyer, partner, whatever you want to call it, than they are just on the highest dollar. I mean, you want
right.
to get maximum value, but if you don't pick the right partner and you're not properly aligned, your life is going to be pretty miserable. And I've seen a lot of dentists go through that. Like, man, I got a ton of money, but this sucks. Like what I'm doing sucks because we're not aligned, because there are groups that do it really well, but there are also groups who are looking to flip in 3 to 5 years. And that doesn't lend itself to investing in your practice, investing in your people. It means that, gosh, if we can drop $1,000 expense, that's 15 times at sale. We're increasing EBITDA and whatever your multiple is. It's like that. Well, great. That's awesome for your investors. It's awesome for a 3 to 5 year flip. But when you're the people there, you're the boots on the ground, you're the one actually providing the service and the care, and you're there for your patients, and you're the ones of being affected by it. When uh, they say, hey, that office manager or hygienist, we can backfill that position because they're too expensive or whatever. They're undervaluing that relationship capital that they've built. Relationships with patients, relationships with you, relationships with the team, relationships with the office itself and where everything is. And it's way more expensive to replace somebody than it is to keep them happy. And if that means an extra dollar or two an hour, I mean, you'd be an idiot not to do what it takes to keep your team intact. And so alignment is super important.
And I really feel like, Jim, that dentistry, when it comes to where healthcare is now, has the opportunity to be that leading profession in healthcare, being that patients,
Yeah.
are supposed to come twice a year, right? For
Yeah.
preventative nature and things like that.
Or
Primary
more.
care, it feels
Yeah.
like AI is going to completely change primary care. And so I look at this opportunity for dentists and how they can serve their communities and help their patients and the like. Again, like I feel like it's kind of time to maybe carry that success flag for dentistry in the sense of like leading the charge, right?
For sure. When it comes down to the oral systemic link, I mean, we're the only ones who are going to do it. We're the ones driving that, bringing medicine into dentistry and dentistry into medicine and having a closer relationship. I mean, the medical community hasn't necessarily seen that need, and let's be honest, a lot of physicians don't take what we do all that seriously. Oh, it's just
Yep.
teeth.
Yep.
Without really recognizing, and that's so ironic, isn't it? I mean, the
Yeah.
people who are supposed to be the quarterback for your overall health so discount this whole oral cavity and all the bacteria and all the things and how it affects the rest of your physical health is kind of absurd. And a lot of physicians are the worst patients you'll ever have too. So yes, it takes dentists to get that message out to the medical community, develop those great relationships, those collaborations, and then communicate it to the world at large. So people and patients see that value as well.
Absolutely. Two last questions. This has been great. Thank you so much for your time.
My
The
pleasure. It's been
first
great.
is when you look back at your career, one regret.
Huh. One regret. Oh boy. Man, that's a tough one because if I sat and thought about it, I could probably come up with several. Um, and I don't want to frame it as regret. I would
Positive in a
rather,
positive way, in a
yeah,
positive way.
I'd rather reframe some of the mistakes and things as opportunities for growth, opportunities for maybe a better overall view of the profession and how I can help other dentists maybe avoid some of those things. But oh boy, I think that I overdid my education. it's not a regret because others can learn from that.
Right.
That's one. Two, I got burned out really early in my career because I was seeing way too many patients, and all of a sudden I was making a lot of money, but it wasn't enough. I needed to go back and restructure the whole thing to see less patients and provide higher level of care and attention and service. So that wasn't a regret. I learned from that and then made twice as much money doing it even better. Um, I regret selling at 45. I think that I probably should have held out a little bit, not held out, but I should have kept doing it longer than I did.
Yeah.
I would have gotten more education as far as transitions go, and I got an incredible deal. It was one of those things I couldn't say no to, but I didn't necessarily get the expert advice that could have ended up in a better transaction and transition for me. Um, those are some things.
Yeah.
There's just some inflection points. I think when the pandemic hit, I think that uh, instead of taking some of those setbacks in stride and just like, man, we're gonna power through it. Like, I mean, that's my personality. That's how I've been my entire life. I had that period where I didn't. I had a little bit of a victim's mentality, and it's not a good way to live. It's not a good way to live or lead. And so that I could call that a regret. I feel like I lost a few years there that I'm regaining and I'm in a good place now and I learned from it. But I'd say those are some of the things, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well,
There
you
are
and I
probably
are
a lot
both.
more, but
No, I listen. I think you and I are both two very optimistic people, right? I mean, I think
yeah,
we tend to look at the glass half full, and maybe we can use
yeah,
this conversation as a means to bury the word regret and instead
yeah,
look at it the way that you framed it, which I think is so important, which is it's easy at that moment, which is the reason why I wanted to bring it up, to
yeah,
emotionally to feel like it's a regret. But then, like you said, through
for
through
sure.
the scape of time and to be able to look back at it, it really is a lesson, it's an opportunity, it's a challenge for others to learn, all that good stuff. Yeah,
You have to reframe those things
completely.
mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally. And I've usually been pretty good about that, but I've had a few lapses over the years. And I had an amazing career, John. I cannot look back and say, wow, like I wish I had done everything differently. I can look back and say other people can do things more efficiently and maybe be even more effective in a shorter period of time than I was. But man, I got to do everything. I mean, I got to teach, I got to learn, I owned multiple practices, I led a bunch of different teams, I helped elevate my teams into higher positions in the industry. I've gotten to do a lot of really cool stuff. I made a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. I have a great life. So I can't look at it as regret. I can only look at it as life lessons.
And then last one, maybe a couple of your best decisions.